Hello everybody and welcome to NorCal Slot Car Scene. Today we're going to take a look at cars from two of the most recognizable eras in sports car racing, Group 5 and Group C. Group 5 was for production-based sports cars, although extensive modifications were allowed to the cars, including massive fender flares and huge wings. The predominant car of this era was the Porsche 935. However, other manufacturers were involved, including Ford with the Capri in Europe and the Mustang in the United States, as well as other companies like Lancia with the Beta Monte Carlo. Group C started in 1982 and was for purpose-built sports cars as opposed to production-based cars. The class lasted for a little over 10 years, with Porsche again being the dominant player with the 956 and the 962. I've built and raced quite a few cars in both Group C and Group 5, but two of my favorites are both Lancias. In Group 5, it's the Lancia Beta Monte Carlo, a mid-engine road-going car that was turned into a car to compete with the Porsche 935s. In Group C, it's the Lancia LC2, which used power plants supplied by Ferrari. I like the Lancias because they're a little bit out of the ordinary and sport the striking Martini livery. Also, in 1/32 scale slot cars, the Lancias have some of the largest wheel openings in the class, so you can stuff the biggest tires you can find underneath them. The racing setup for both of these cars is actually quite similar. There's just a little bit of weight around the motor pod area. The Group 5 car with the long can angle winder setup doesn't require as much weight because the motor itself is quite a bit heavier than the short can with the inline setup in the Group C car. As with any car that has a separate motor pod, I make sure there's just a little bit of play and movement in the pod area, and then I attach a piece of electrical tape to the front of the pod to just slightly limit the movement. You also want to make sure the body has a little bit of float to it in relation to the chassis. I usually tighten the body screws until the body doesn't move, and then back them off about a half a turn, and that's just about right. So there you have two of my contenders for the Group 5 and the Group C class of racing. Thanks for watching. This is Jim Rose with NorCal Slot Car Scene.